I was in my final year of medical school, desperate to hold it together in a system that squeezes every ounce of life out of you. If you've ever walked the stone-cold corridors of a government medical college, you'll know exactly what I mean. Everyone's always moving like they're being chased. Everyone's buried in textbooks or in hospital shifts. I think that's why we became friends, Rahul and I. We could still find a reason to laugh in the relentless grind. Rahul was one of the smartest people I knew. But he was also quiet about a lot of things. Only much later did I learn he had taken on a huge debt just to be here. And when his father's business folded, the calls from lenders began, reminding him every day that his world was shrinking, the ground beneath him giving way, his entire future hanging by a thread. When they found him sprawled on the concrete courtyard, everyone was in shock. But for me, Rahul's story didn't end there. Because just days after his death, I started seeing him. I had gone up there to clear my head and sneak a smoke. I caught him out of the corner of my eye, his spectral form teetering at the edge. He was staring at his final resting place. Then he tilted his head slowly, as if he knew I was watching. His eyes were empty hollows, and his lips curled into a cruel smile that sent a chill through me. I stumbled backward so fast I nearly tripped over. Surely it was just grief twisting my mind, conjuring tricks. But he seemed so real. I regained my footing and fled to my room. That ghostly figure, soaked in unnatural energy, must have sunk its hooks deep into my mind. Because each day, the rooftop grew harder to resist, and every time I returned, his stare got harder to escape. A supernatural siren song was beckoning me to that edge. One night, I was halfway through an epic exam prep session when I got that familiar urge. I climbed to the rooftop, only to find him again, standing right there, on that cursed edge, with an expression I'll never forget. He was smiling, inviting me to get closer. I couldn't pull away. I walked up to the railing, the final barrier that stood between life and death. The abyss below me stretched out like it wanted to swallow me whole. I stepped closer, my hands gripping the railings until my knuckles went white. A vigorous pulse pounded in my neck. An ancient voice whispered, "You don't need to hold on." I jerked back, gasping. I ran, not stopping till I got back to my room. But the feeling stayed, creeping into my every waking thought. It was like my dead friend had left some part of himself there, a piece of his sorrow that wouldn't let go of the earthly plane of existence. It was a thorn, laced with dark allure, embedded deep in my flesh. A twisted pleasure I couldn't resist. Over the weeks, my sleep dwindled, replaced with dreams of standing on the ledge, the wind whipping around me. In the dream, I saw Rahul sprawled below, his body twisted and broken. His fish-pale, lidless eyes fixed upward, piercing into me. His lips pulled back into a smile, exposing blood-flecked teeth. A grisly halo of brain matter framed his misshapen head, sickly and glistening. "Come down so you can be with me," a sing-song voice murmured, lulling me gently just before the nightmare loosened its grip. No matter how I tried to shake it, the visions clung to me like a disease. Even a glimpse of an open window brought on that awful vertigo, a gut-wrenching sensation of plummeting into an endless fall. Then, one night after another grueling revision session, I drifted off at my desk, only to open my eyes on the rooftop. It was past midnight, and a biting wind had picked up. The ice chill had yanked me out of my sleepwalking spell. I was near the railing, watching Rahul climbing over the metal frame. He stood at the edge, his arms hanging loosely by his sides, his clothes flapping in the wind. He turned his head slowly, staring at me with those hollow eyes. The longer I looked, the harder it was to extract myself from that malign influence. I felt an invisible force tugging at me, something sinister orchestrating each movement of my limbs. I felt the railing under my fingers, cool and pitted. My legs moved on their own, lifting me over the rail, and I found myself standing on the ledge, teetering, swaying above the endless drop that whispered promises and beckoned me to let go. The ground wavered far below, a dizzying mosaic of street lamp lights flickering in fractal patterns across the courtyard floor. Vertigo twisted through me, blurring my vision, added venom to the seductive invitation of gravity.
Join me!
A dark voice beckoned and commanded my brain to let go of the railing. I nearly obliged. But at the last moment, a figure appeared in the stairwell. A watchman, his flashlight beam cutting across the rooftop. "Why are you here? It's dangerous!" he screamed. Panic exploded in my chest as I became aware of my surroundings and came to the gut-wrenching realization that I was standing at the very edge. I tried to pull back, but I couldn't tear myself away from that terrifying height. My fingers clawed at the rail, slipping, muscles weak with terror, until a firm hand grabbed my shoulder. "Let go! Come back!" The watchman's voice cut through, strong and urgent, grounding me. I forced myself to turn, his grip steadying me as he pulled me over the railing. My legs buckled as I hit solid ground, and I crumbled to the floor, my heart a wild drumbeat in my chest. There was no trace of Rahul, only the concerned face of the watchman and the wind's low, taunting howl, reminding me that an endless, open void remained. Even now, every time I see an open ledge or feel the slightest breeze pushing me from behind, the feeling comes rushing back, like he's still there, waiting